creating a learning tree on Central Reach from Learn. So we've started with our client. We have our first two name, last two name learning tree. If we need to edit this, we can go to the edit icon. We write the name of the program book, the description. This is just where you describe the clients that you're serving, and the name, again, that's going to be the title on all downloaded and exported graphs. When we're done with the page, you click Done Editing, and then it should auto refresh. So if we're making trees for our goals that we are targeting, then we come down here, and here's going to be the descriptors of our sections for our goals. So let's say that we're doing receptive communication with one of our clients. Then we can go here and go to Edit. And again, we'll have receptive communication. Central Reach for a lot of these program books that are already inputted have the descriptions. So for receptive communication, they have skills in this domain target at the client's functional use of receptive language across setting, communication partners, and language functions. So here you'll retitle receptive communication, and then the auto progression of targets we will get into a little bit later. So the program goal, you can pull that from the behavior intervention plan that you have, and that's just going to be the percentage of what we need for mastery and the number of trials. So it'll be in the mastery criteria, but the program goal is, you'll find that on the BIP with the receptive communication. So when we're done with that page, you click Done Editing. And then after we're done with that, we go to View Goal. And then we click the assessment that we did with that kid. Let's say we did the VB map. For discipline, we'll click ABA, record, educational, domain, communication, and then the responsibility of who is servicing them, and that is the service provider. So we will click update when we are done with that. And if it loads, or if it saves, then you can just X out of that. Now we're going to get to our smaller branches of our learning tree, and these are going to be the programs that we are actually targeting. So for this client, let's say that we are targeting following instructions. Let's go to our edit. So we'll do following instructions right here, our branch title. Again, this should be pretty parallel with our behavior intervention plans that should already be written. This is where you'll introduce the smaller goals under the larger category. For example, we are introducing following instructions under the category of receptive communication. So I like to include the SD in here. So I'll include the SD, and that would be do this. I make it bold. This is just a preference that I do. But this section is what you're going to see on the mobile platforms when you're actually taking data. So I like to include the SD for the therapists that are actually running the sessions if they ever have trouble remembering what they are targeting. You'll title the following instructions. That's the overarching goal so that we are targeting for that. This will be goal number 1, the domain, the communication, the program name, following instructions. Then the SD is when the therapist says, do this. The student will insert the correct response. The correct response is corresponding with target independent of prompt from therapist. Data collection, we're going to measure that in % correct, and we're going to have 1 to 10 teaching opportunities for sessions. So our program goal for following instructions should come from our behavior intervention plan, and that is also going to help us understand the mastery criteria. So that's going to be the % for mastery and the trial number for mastery. Once we have all of this completed, click Done Editing. And then after that, we can go to View Goal. This one's a little bit shorter than the larger branch one. Domain, we'll just click Communication again. Responsibility, Service Provider, and then Update. All right, once we are done with that, then we will go to the target. And these are going to be our individual targets, so our milestones and criteria for mastering this particular target. So let's say for following instructions, let's say this is a pretty low kiddo, so we just want to hold attention for 3 seconds. Again, this is going to correspond with your behavior intervention plan, but let's just use this as an example. Branch description, we will do the program goal from BIP, and then give the SD, let's do look at me. Let's do that for this kid. Title on all downloaded graphs, we'll do following instructions. So again, that larger goal, program goal, copy and paste from BIP. And then we'll leave these blank for now, and I'll go back to that in a minute. Data type, how we want it to be collected, is %correct. Maximum number of trials, I usually leave blank, just in case we ever want to trial it out or test more. Minimum trials, I'll do usually about 3, but I kind of do it by whatever target I'm doing. And then I check graph per session. Then I come down here to criteria and prompting settings. Click import template. And we in Columbus have been using a 90% mastery over 3 consecutive sessions. And we made our own template. So let's go ahead and click that. We'll click continue. So this is just going to be how our graphs auto progress, so we can move on to the following goals and not have to get clearance to move on to goals that we know that we've already targeted or need targeted. So then this all should show up. So this is the baseline criteria. Really what you want to look for here are the numbers. So we're looking for 90% over 3 data points, then we'll auto progress to the intervention. Again, 90% over 3 days, 90% over 3 days, and then so on and so forth. If you needed to change it, or let's say that you're just targeting 80%, you just come over here to the pencil and you can change it 80%, 90% over 1 day, 3 days, all kind of according to what your plan states. After that, I save the target. This is important, so once these are filled in, you need to go back up, and then mastery criteria and generalization criteria. You can just sync right from the criteria, and then it'll fill in your goals automatically. Allowing the branches to auto-progress, you will need to start a session before you do this. And you can't start a session until the program book is closed. So even if you wanted to check that, you need, I'm clicking this right now, and you need the session to start and the linked client for this option. So we'll uncheck that, and then we will be done editing. All right, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll view goal, check the domain, communication, responsibility, service provider, and then we will update. I'll cancel out of that. So let's say following instructions, we have 5 smaller goals before we master out of following instructions. So let's say we hold attention, eye contact, yada yada, 3 more goals. So what saves us a lot of time is clicking on hold attention, making sure this is what we are targeting right here, or this is our smaller target right here. We go to branch options, go to bulk copy branch. So let's say we had 5 total targets, so we need 4 additional copies. Copy the branch. So this is the success message that you'll get, but it won't go through until you refresh the page. And then you have all of your copies for that specific target. So let's say we want to follow instructions. So then we go to our edit. This should all be copied over from the original target. Follow instructions. So let's do whatever is next in our chain. So I'm just making this up here. Let's do eye contact with therapist. Again, we will do following instructions on the exported graphs. And all of this should already be saved from our first target. So you see even down here, the criteria and prompting, that should all be saved. So really the only thing you need to do once you have your original copied is make sure that your branch title syncs up with that goal that you're targeting. And for some reason this is blank, so you just need to fill in the larger goal. Then done editing, and then you are good to go. It can be a little time consuming, but you will go through that with all of these sections. And what we've found successful is making sure that your original target that you want to copy is perfect and does not need edited once you go through the lower targets in your tree. All right, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any more questions.